All right, it is time for the Fluffle to assemble. Welcome one and all to the Rabbit Nation. Whether you are a paid-for citizen, whether you are just a tourist who's just subscribed, or whether you're just looking across the border wondering whether or not to emigrate to such a wonderful nation as the Rabbit Nation, welcome one and all to the Rabbit Atheist Show on the Rabbit Atheist channel. I am your host, Ed Raby, a former pastor turned atheist, now compassionate anti-theist. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Rabbit Atheist, and welcome to another Deconversion Hangout evening on a Thursday. Today we're going to look at what are some of the more emotional reasons for leaving faith, and I'll get into that in a little bit. We always hear that, oh, you just left the faith for emotional reasons, and I actually have an emotional reason that I think is legit for leaving the faith. So we'll talk more about that in a bit. Just a couple of announcements. There, of course, is a goal in chat that helps support the channel and keep my streams when they're live ad-free. When you're participating in a live show, you don't have to deal with any ads. And as long as I continue to get support, I will do that. And so all support, of course, is appreciated. And I will wear the hat chosen by the poll for the rest of the stream if that goal is reached. There's a Discord link for the Fluffle of Fangs in the description. Tomorrow's stream, I will be looking at several apologists and preachers. And, we're like getting past the halfway point in Pride Month, and I thought it might be an entertaining, funny evening to listen to some of these people and critique them for Pride Month's sake. But there have been several, of course, apologists and preachers who have not been silent about Pride Month, and I'm always interested to critique them about that. So that'll be tomorrow's stream. So. Yes, tomorrow. The sun will come out tomorrow, yes. All right, who's here so far? We have the Elder Gods have sent their emissary. That's good. Evan is here, the priest of Bun, or Pun, depending on which way you want to look at it. Martin is here. Dragon Rider is here. Deconstruction and admitting you were wrong is hard. It's an excellent menu. You don't know things are very hard, yes. Let's see, we got Michael is here, and then we got Professor Hizzle is here. Outstanding. I just watched Believe It or Not, but okay. Because admitting you don't know things is very hard. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And Jay is here. Good to see you, Jay. Yeah, so we're all here. Today's question, it usually stems from a comment every once in a while I do get here on the channel. This is Deconversion Hangout, so it's a deconversion issue because you will hear theists do this, where they'll say, you just left the faith because somebody hurt you, or you just left the faith because of emotional reasons. You had some problem. You can't be here if I don't exist. You hear that a lot. Like, you left for emotional reasons. There was an emotional hurt or trauma or something that happened in the church, and so you left the church. And it has nothing to do with any rational assessment of whether your faith is true or things like that. But today I want to examine the question, are there any good emotional reasons to leave faith together, to leave the church, to leave religion? And I'm going to talk about one that I think is a perfectly legit emotional reason for leaving the faith, and it's one that apologists kind of blow off. I was watching, I couldn't remember if it's somebody where I was watching somebody's live stream where William Lane Craig showed up and did this kind of technique about things, or I was looking at somebody old, maybe it was an old Professor Planck video. But they'll do this, like they will, and what I'm referring to is the problem of evil. Because what apologists will do about the problem of evil is they'll start out something like this. They'll go, yeah, the emotions of the problem of evil, we get it. Like, we get that some of these things are heart-wrenching. We're dealing with suffering, we're dealing with natural evil, we're dealing with moral evil. Some of the choices that people make are absolutely horrendous, right? And so, I actually, I think, heard William Lane Craig say this, like, I absolutely understand this, but we need to look at it rationally. Okay. We need to move away from the emotions of the issue of the problem of evil. I'm going to call bullshit on that whole idea, because the issue of the problem of evil is a human empathy issue. Like, there's an emotional human empathy issue with the problem of evil. And I think it's a perfectly legit emotional reason to look at the problem of evil and say, yes, my human empathy says that this is wrong and it's okay to be this way. Like, it's okay to understand that the problem of evil isn't just an intellectual problem about the omni God. It is also an emotional problem because my human empathy says this thing is crap. Okay. Uh, every time I hear apologists or theists talk about the problem of evil, they want to skip over the human empathy part. They want to get right to the intellectual, whatever defense they're going to offer, whatever bullshit defense they're going to offer, which usually doesn't work for me. The problem of evil is always, if God desires to remove evil from the world, but doesn't, he's not really benevolent. If he desires to remove evil, but he doesn't know all the evil that happens in the world, which seems weird for a God, then he's not really omniscient. Or maybe he has a desire, but he doesn't have the power, or he set up some sort of system. Free will is often used as a defense. But I want to get back to the human empathy question of the problem of evil, because most of the time when I hear the emotional side of the problem of evil just kind of dismissed and pushed aside, I have to realize that it's the emotional side of the problem of evil that caused me to leave. It's part of the reason that I left the faith, is because nobody ever really dealt with the human empathy question of the problem of evil. And so it's like, okay, but to me, that's the big thing. Like, especially with moral evil, like when you have people that are making repeated choices to harm another person. I've often had to confront apologists on this channel because they want to get rid of all that, and they come in with their intellectual. I'm like, no, I think a year ago I did this with Jim Bob, because Jim Bob wanted to, first of all, soft soap what the problem of evil was, and then he wanted to kind of dismiss the emotional sides of it. And I'm like, no, Jim Bob, the real problem of evil is that you have a little girl who's 3 years old whose father is doing criminal sexual assault on her every day for years and years and years until she leaves the house, never gets caught, never gets stopped. She cries out to God. And it's not just that God doesn't do anything in his power. He's in the goddamn room watching it every day. Oh, that's getting emotional. You're doggone right it is. Okay, you're doggone right it is. And I get so tired of getting rid of the emotional human empathy side of the problem of evil. It was one of the reasons that I left the faith. I don't think any counter has ever dealt effectively with that. So, one of mine, yeah. I don't think the problem is actually emotional. It can produce emotional reality, but it's basic. A cannot also be not a logic. Yeah, it can be. But I don't think that. Shut up, Jim. Okay, yeah. Shut up, Jim. Yeah. The emotion of the problem is the moral consequences of it. Yeah, like there's a human empathy aspect to morality. Let's be honest, like a lot of our moral codes, our subjective morality is based on our human empathy. And so, that's just one of the many things. We do bring in rationality. We do bring in, all kinds of other tools to that moral toolbox to do it. But part of it is the human empathy. And to me, when you look at the human emotional reaction to the problem of evil, I don't think that can be easily just dismissed or wiped aside. So it's like that. So emotional things can probably keep them in faith longer. To learn new ways to cope with difficulties is hard for the person of faith. Yeah, like, and I will agree with you, Ron. I think I stayed in the faith for far more emotional reasons than I ever, when I left it, though, I did have some emotional reasons to leave it. And part of it was my human empathy in relationship to the God of the Bible. Like, the God of the Bible has no concern for humans when you really look at it. Like, he has no ultimate concern to save all of humanity. He doesn't demonstrate that in the Old Testament. He doesn't really demonstrate it in the New. And so his concern for humanity, what God loves you so much. Well, does he? Does he really? So this is also why I prefer to call it the problem of suffering. Evil can be a squishy term, but you can objectively see measure suffering. Yeah, and I agree with that. Like, I get why people make that distinction, but I also think that when you look at suffering caused deliberately by other humans, you kind of have to bring in, okay, is that evil? And I think you can bring that into the discussion. Shut up, Kate. Okay. Greetings, Earthlings. Okay. Hey, Sedona. Or the problem of evil suffering is why I wouldn't worship most gods, even if they did exist. Yeah, me too. They did exist and could do something about suffering, but didn't. Then why should I worship them? Yes, I think that's kind of the emotional side of it. So, to me, you call it the problem of evil, call it the problem of suffering. But when you have deliberate suffering caused by other human beings and God is sitting in the corner with all the power to stop it, claiming that he is somehow benevolent or loving, that just counters my human empathy and my human reasoning. Like, because if let's reverse the role and say, okay, I'm sitting in the corner while this is happening. If I sit there and do nothing, the assessment of me as a fellow human being is going to be that I'm a piece of shit human being if I were to do that. And yet somehow God gets away with it. Like, nobody ever gets after him for just sitting in the corner and doing nothing. The Christians make up all kinds of excuses. Islam makes up all kinds of excuses. Theists have all kinds of wonderful excuses that doesn't get past the simple moral ethics of watching somebody else be deliberately harmed and not having enough of an emotional reaction to stop it. Like, that's kind of what I'm getting at today. So thinking that God will come and save you from a difficulty stunts a person's ability to find a solution to one's own problem. Yes. And see, this is why, since leaving the faith, I take the problem of suffering a little bit better, because I realize there's a lot of ignorance. We don't know all the suffering that's going on. We don't, there's a lot of powerlessness. Like, there's certain abilities that humanity, we just don't always have the power to stop suffering sometimes. There's a natural world that just is the way it is, and we have to deal with it. So it's more of for me, I've gotten more peace about this problem since leaving the faith than thinking there's some sort of cosmic entity that's supposedly benevolent and has power, but doesn't seem to do anything. So it's like I can accept that not only intellectually but emotionally well as well. Like, there's no, I have less difficulty accepting it. Like, sometimes I look at what human beings do and go, yeah, like, yeah, screw that. Yeah, there's some humans that aren't exactly great either, but human reality doesn't justify the worship of a god. Yep. That's kind of my emotional statement on this. And I think it's a legit emotional response to this problem of suffering or evil, whatever you want to call it. It's one of the things that really bothers me about apologists, though. Whenever they deal with us, they want to dismiss the human aspect of it. They want to They want to talk about the problem of suffering, but then they don't really want to deal with the suffering. They'll jump to, well, Jesus understands suffering before because he suffered. And I constantly have to turn to them, and Jesus had a bad weekend. Okay. Like he went right back to being God and being whole. And, you know, what did he actually give up? I mean, if I take Paul's argument or pseudo Paul's argument in Ephesians, Jesus actually gained from the aspect of it. Like he gained stuff from it. He didn't lose anything. Like he gained even more glory, more power, more worship, more praise. And what did he actually give up? He didn't stay dead forever. So he died, but he didn't stay dead. I don't know. I always thought that was bad writing, but or a bad idea. Problem of suffering is an issue of the absolute maximally good nature of Christian theology. Yes, it is. So it's the problem. So your point earlier is another part of why I also like suffering better as a term. Natural causes of suffering, natural diseases are harder for theists to wriggle out of. Yeah, I think so too. Because then you're also saying that God caused these, because the Bible makes it very clear that God is in charge of earthquakes. He's in charge. You can't, if you're a theist, a biblical believing Christian theist, you can't wiggle out of the idea that God is the one that causes those things, because it's pretty clear that he does. And why God would do that. And some of them embrace that. I remember preachers of old and still today that, oh, yeah, that's why that hurricane struck that part of the country. They got all them sinners in that part of the country. I used to hear that when Katrina and all the rest of them hit different parts. Yeah, that's that sinful part of the country, and they wouldn't just justify it. They would lean into it. It's like, oh, great. So you're admitting your God is a murderer. Outstanding. So there you go. Donnie Pierce had a book with many versions of that problem. After a while, you get your favorite version. Okay. Yes, that's probably true. All right. Why do you want to peas about it? Get yourself some water about it once you taste here. Okay. This is why I keep you around, Evan. The puns are always great. But natural causes are the fall, while human causes have been dealt with the Exodus as well, as an example. Yes. That's one of those things. Borussia, I'm with you. Why is any super beings allegedly in control of everything? All the suffering in the world makes a lot more sense if like you get rid of the gods and it makes a lot more sense. Like this is the natural world the way it is. I can, not every human being is a decent human being. I can understand the psychology of it with moral evil, and I can, or suffering, and I can understand, this is a natural world we live in. The world and the universe aren't exactly made for human beings. Like we've kind of adapted to our environment and grown out of that. And so there's a process that still, I can accept all of this a whole hell of a lot better as an atheist. If I postulate a God who's supposedly on my side, who allows all this stuff to happen, or sits in the corner while some moral evil takes place to an innocent, I have a much harder time with that and justifying that. So, yeah, oh man, it's still left up. It's just less so. Yeah, Jesus, bad weekend, boasting on the cross. Yes, I've had that discussion before with theists. They don't particularly like that one, particularly Christians theists. They do not like the fact that I point out that Jesus didn't really give up anything, and the Bible basically admits it too. So, like, they, Ephesians is very clear that because of what Jesus did, he gained even more glory and honor for God and himself. Like, and I'm like, how? Like how? But that was a passage of scripture that always bothered me. Hey, Azo, you got Azo. You would have had fun Monday and Tuesday. I don't know. I got theist trolls these days. A lot of trolls these days. I hated those arguments that say X location is getting hit by a natural disaster because people in X location are sinners, people that I don't like. This literally has nothing to do with reality. Yeah, when you also consider, like, these people didn't seem to realize, oh gosh, I can't remember the preacher's name that was big during Katrina way back in like '08, '09. Like, he was like, that area got hit because there's sinners and Mardi Gras and all this other crap. And never realizing that the amount of people that died or had their property destroyed or whatever in that, right? There were a lot of people that had nothing to do with any of that. There were church going people that loved Jesus Christ, that were killed in that. And somehow this was all a consequence of sin. And this is the real problem I have with the sin argument in general, is because it's an easy button to push as a preacher when a natural disaster strikes, and they don't the reason they do it is then you don't have to focus on the innocent people that died in that same natural disaster. Like, oh no, we could focus on the evil people and the sinners and all this other crap and dismiss the fact that a whole bunch of innocent people just died in that thing too that did nothing, none of that. And it really diminishes any kind of rational discussion you can have about that. So it just really does. So Deuteronomy 20, you must not worship the Lord your God in their way, because in worshiping their gods, they do all kinds of detestable things the Lord hates. They even burn their sons and daughters and in fire sacrifices to their gods. Do not give in your children to be sacrificed to Moloch, for you will not profane the name of the Lord. I am the Lord. Yeah, like, yeah, it's always otherism, isn't it? Like, this has been around forever. Like, these are like some of the favorite passages that people. Um, it might have been. It might have been, but there was a guy that was like going after the Katrina thing back in the day. Like, the reason that it hit New Orleans and hit Louisiana is like one of the big sin towns and the sinny, more sinners there. And it's yeah. So, but yeah, there you go. But yeah, do as I say, not as I do, God. Yes. But yes, but yes, like, but these were all passages that I remember people using, like, don't be like them, all this other stuff. And then God's going to get you, he's going to, the innocent die with the guilty sinners, and on the list goes. It becomes a real vicious cycle, I think. And when you're deconverting from all this stuff, you suddenly realize that the preachers, the church, even in catastrophe, even in absolute, if God's in charge of the hurricane, volcano, earthquake, whatever, has just killed a whole bunch of children, has just killed a whole bunch of people that had nothing to do with anything, just trying to live their life. And somehow it's because of the sin. And it's a warning. It's a warning that if you don't stop sinning, it could happen to you too. So I'm in the year 1215. The churches have passed laws. I have to kneel with my eyes closed, mouth open, while a priest transformed bread into Jesus' flesh. Looking at the bread is illegal. Emotional reasons for leaving the faith are illegal, not yet invented. Yes, but yeah, like, it's if we lived back in the day, looking at it like, and this is what some Christians want to bring back right now, though, is this emotional fear of God legally enforced. And the fact that these ideas, like, you're talking 1215, and I get why you're saying it, because it's the Middle Ages. But yes, like, it's people still want to do this. They still want to do it. Yes, and apparently the Israelites offering children, not the Canaanites. Yes. Hey, Punk Apostate, good to see you. A prominent teacher who made highly kind remarks attacking the beginning of the storm. Oh, yes, John Hagee. Oh, yeah, he's dead now, I believe. He died. Yes, but John Hagee he made very controversial remarks during Katrina about how it was a judgment from God. Um, and I'm like, all the more reason not to serve such a God. Like, I'm just going to say it. All the more reason not to serve that kind of God. So, yeah. John Hagee said in a radio show that Katrina was God's judgment against New Orleans because they had had a pride parade. Oh, very appropriate then that we are in June. Yeah, I can see John Hagee saying that. Well, yeah, I mean, they name these hurricanes after women and men. They go back and forth, depending on the year, as I recall. Now, they used to just name them after women. So I always thought that was an interesting choice. Those things commonly happen with surrounding nations. Those extreme verses and practices of other nations can also create a kind of justification to attack and wipe out other nations. Yes, like if the thing about those verses, okay, like it's the context of the Old Testament literature. Like, let me see here. We got Leviticus, we got Deuteronomy. So what are in the point of the story of the Old Testament in Leviticus and Deuteronomy, what then is the justification? What are they trying to justify that they're going to do later? Well, it's going to be the Joshua conquest where they go in and kill everybody because, quote unquote, these people are so evil. And so the writers in 600 BCE are putting together this narrative, they're putting together this story. And so, of course, the 5 books of the law have to give a justification for Joshua and following. They have to have this, from a literature standpoint, they have to have this justification of you're evil, you're this evil, they're doing this, they're sacrificing their kids. And so it justifies them going in a little bit later. Like it justified all this other stuff going into it. So yeah, I think that was Hurricane. That wasn't Katrina. That was another one. I actually lived through a Category 3. So, hey, Mega Bloodbath, what's up? The reason you shouldn't serve this guy, look up serve in his language. Yeah. And there again, Jackie, is another emotional response to what God thinks service is. Like, because his definition of serve is abject servitude. Like you're not allowed, you just bow the knee to God, and it's a complete abject slavery. Okay. And the fact that even the New Testament, like Paul will use terms like Paul, a bondservant of Jesus Christ, like I'm a bond slave of Jesus Christ. And yes, the word is slave, not servant. There's an emotional response that we should have to that idea. Like this isn't a relationship. Like I've been listening to a lot of people talk about, like Paula Gia and CJ were talking about this relationship with God. It's like, it's a funny relationship where I don't even know if the other person actually exists, but then I'm also supposed to serve them like an abject servant. Okay. And seems like a weird relationship to me. So it's just really weird. The Olstein faced heavy criticism for initially not opening his Houston megachurch Lakewood Church during Hurricane Harvey in 2017. Yeah, it was Hurricane Harvey. But he kept the doors closed. And he did that again. I guess he dealt with it and he did with it. But Joel Osteen's church, I guess, is having problems. The mega church in general is having problems. So how do you keep that being so? Yeah. Also, marriage is not the same in different languages. Yes. You're going to curtsy. The problem with you curtsying compared to when Earl does it, asshole, is in my mind, she does it very gracefully, like proper curtsy. When you do it, you kind of fall over and land on your head. That's what I see. I'm sorry. But yes, yes. I always love As, always quick on the research. Helps me out. Yes, one-sided relationship with a 2,000-year-old Jewish zombie. Yeah, because we're dealing with that aspect, because there's another emotional reason to leave the faith, is the fact that the relationship with Jesus is kind of, if I did, I would pass out. Okay, there you go. So there you go. But yes, like this is the other side of this. Like, if those of you who grew up in churches that talked about this relationship with God thing, it, the real issue with that relationship with God thing becomes, this is a really one-sided relationship. Like, because this is an emotional reason that they try to keep you in faith. Well, it's not a religion, it's a relationship. Well, the relationship sucks, because it seems like I'm doing all the work. It's almost like the other side doesn't exist. Like, they don't really do anything for me. Oh, well, he died on a cross for you and he did all these things for you. And it's like, well, that's all very well and good. Could he kindly show up and propose this to me himself? Like, why does he need the church to do that thing? So, joining as someone kerplopping, but legit, somebody who grew up in theater and specifically Shakespeare, I can bow and curtsy. Okay, mother fluffer. Okay, there we go. So, like coyote curtsies. Yes. See, there are Canaanite Jews. If it's not all the Jews, you can follow the family tree and find them. Okay. Yes, the relationship sucks. It does. Like, I'm sorry. This is part of the problem of evil again, but also the problem of divine hiddenness, which is kind of related to the problem of evil. In the fact that if I'm having a relationship with somebody, like, one, I want to know that they actually exist. And two, I want them probably to demonstrate more on a daily basis that they actually give a shit. Okay. Like it sorry. So, but yeah. But yeah, like I know a lot of people over the years, I've talked to several people that, like, have mentioned this emotional reason for leaving the faith. Like, I'm supposed to have this relationship with this person and they don't even show up for a date. Like, like they don't even, they're not here. Like, they don't talk to me. So there's just so many things wrong with this relationship. There's just so many things wrong with it. It's very one-sided. And if the relationship doesn't seem right to you, who do we blame? Well, it's your fault. God hasn't moved. He's still there. You're just not open to hear his voice, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. And so this idea of an emotional relationship with somebody, because emotions are part of it, like, where is the relationship going here? What is the emotional status of this relationship? And when you bring in the idea of love and all this other stuff, like, it seems like we don't really have any good emotional basis for this relationship. So, well, I don't think we can worship the Jewish God. We're on the bloodline, and they don't take converts unless you do the proper channels. It would not have to be be daily, but God gives the definition to the word deadbeat dead. Yes. Yeah, it's a master-servant relationship, so it's going to suck. Having an emotional relationship with a malignant narcissist. I let's be fair, Cranky. Like, the elder gods, I have a better relationship with the elder gods I do with Yahweh. Yes, Dom sub. Yes, very much so. I'm still in the year 1215. The church speak Latin. The royals and There's landowners of all the lands speak French Norman. What do I tell my kids? Just kneel and eat the flesh. Tell them it's only bread. Yes, yes. Where is the relationship beef? Where is it? Where's the beef? Yes. God doesn't have an God doesn't have human emotions. He certainly doesn't have hormones. Yeah, yes. Yeah, I remember, oh gosh, that was such a weird time at seminary. But so there you go. What do you mean? Stop talking about Earl. She ain't here to defend herself. She talks about shit about me, I'm sure. And she's welcome to do it, by the way, because I have problems. Yeah. Hey, Ryan. Good to see you. Shatner voice. Yes. Connable. Yes. The narcissist relations can't change because the narcissist isn't going to change. I know I have issues. I embrace them. They're my friends. Yeah, but like the narcissist isn't going to change. And so God, if he's not changing, it's like so but yeah, like it's no, like the relationship aspect of this thing that we call Christianity, right? Like when some of those people say it's not religion, it's a relationship. Well, it's a sucky relationship. Like it's not a very good one. And part of it is you really do have a relationship with a narcissist that wants to be worshiped all the time. Okay. To me, that's probably the biggest argument I have against gods in general is the why do we worship them? If they're secure in their power, they wouldn't have any need to be worshipped. And so it doesn't matter whether it's a god, a goddess, or whatever. That's probably my biggest one. Like, yeah, they don't need it. Yes, I know humans having human problem. We gasp. I get it. Yeah, don't we all? God doesn't have hormones. Half the Bible is Yahweh having shit or temper trance worse than a PMS. Hey, Brent, good to see you. Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't. What I tried to get to earlier in the stream is there is a human empathy response to the problem of evil that I think is perfectly legit. And it is an emotional reason for the faith, leaving the faith, but I think it's legit. Like when you consider the nature of the problem of suffering or evil, whatever you want to call it, there's an emotional repugnance to the God doing nothing when something evil takes place or something suffering takes place and he does nothing about it. And to me, that human empathy, which I think is part of the basis for human morality, is a perfectly legitimate reason, an emotional reason to fight against it. And we've kind of been talking about relationship with God. Like I think it's a relationship that's completely emotionally unsatisfying. So, well, then again, there's following the no hide laws of general. Yeah, I'm working on that video, by the way. I think I'm going to probably. I got to find it. I've got the script done. I've just got to find a time to record it, and I'm kind of pressed for time during the week, so hopefully this weekend. Interesting little deep dive you gave me, Jay. Thanks. So, and I don't know why I looked at Carrie named Nancy says. So, well, then again, there's the following no hide laws if you still want to follow their gods and be respected. Yes, yes, yes. All right. If the Christmas story is to be believed, Jesus would have no male chromosomes. I like my gods to be feminine, and sometimes, yeah, half the population works. Yes. Well, we see that's the real thing, Dixon, because now you have to have God, that whole the power of the Most High will overshadow thee, has a completely different connotation. It's amazing how these Christian writers want to take sex out of everything, but the euphemism there is kind of like, yes, God's going to boink you. Okay. And apparently God's a male because he has the Y chromosome. So Adam was offing his genetic sister. Yes. Yeah, the genetic bottleneck on this is going to be a little bit difficult, isn't it? You can see the same gods in different religions. They change the names, but the pattern is the same. Yes. Like it's the desire for worship and all these gods. What does that actually do? Okay. Why does the relationship with any god have to be like a worship relationship? Like, why does it have to be? It follows the same pattern, but why? And you begin to realize, okay, the powers that be, the priests or the rulers, because they're usually in bed with each other for most of history, want you to treat them the same way as you treat the god. And so you're always trying to worship this thing. So there's this, when you see the ruler or you see the priest, you have this emotional response of positivity that this person is a servant of the god or whatever. And so therefore you accord them the same respect that you do the god. It's a really brilliant psychological trick, but it works. Unfortunately, it works. Yeah, you work for him. Correct. Yeah, the line of David also includes Lot with his daughters. Yeah. Think about that. Yeah, because you have the Moabitess, Ruth gets in there. So, yep. Yeah, you got it. But yeah, like there's this pattern to all worship, regardless of deity, where you have this submission of some sort in some way, shape, or form to the god. And it's like that leads to submission to the human beings that supposedly control that worship and control that idea. So it's very, very interesting to me that that's how that works. And Yahweh is no different. Like you got to worship Yahweh, so you respect the priesthood, you give to the priesthood. Later on in the story, when they get a kingdom period, the king is the servant of God. So therefore you have to do that. You get to Romans for Christians, Romans 13. These powers are created by God and appointed by God, so therefore you should be obedient to them. It's this over and over pattern of emotional submission to an authority figure. And it's the heart and soul of totalitarianism. So there you go. And we see that again. It comes up often, more often than I would like. So Jews think God. It's not really a Jewish thing, but yeah, it's like they know he isn't from David. Okay, there we go. Although the genealogies presented in the New Testament do say so. But yes, yeah. All right. Did I miss anybody so far? I want to make sure. I got a section here. But okay, I'm going to take my break. And what I'd like to see maybe is if anybody else has some other emotional reasons that you think are legit for leaving any faith or religion for that matter, you type in the comments. And when I get back from my break, I'll deal with them. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to give you this following wonderful, lovely thing from I Killed Earl to watch for your entertainment. So there you go. And a couple advertisements as well. So there you go. are back. Okay, let's see. What do I got here? Let's see. Also, Jeezy Boy is described in the New Testament in no way lines up with the Jewish depiction of the Messiah, even otherwise. I think you're kind of right, Evan. Okay, I think one of the things that happens um, in Christianity is they like really stretch to get Jesus to be the Messiah. I mean, if you've ever read Matthew, the Gospel of Matthew, you'll see that. Like, I think Matthew really, really stretches to get that idea. So, but yeah, thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. We're 4 away. What's winning? The unhistorical Viking helmet is indeed winning. So there you go. See? There you go. Back to life. Let's see. Number 1, mental health. The idea of hell and other people suffering, or the God you believe in making people that you know suffer just doesn't just feel. Yeah, it doesn't feel just. I think I don't know if it's a good reason to leave faith, because I think faith and religion does a lot of screwball things to the human mind that aren't good for human health, mental health. But I think you most of the time when I've talked to deconverting people, it's kind of this is a realization after they leave the faith, like after they've been out for a little while. Holy crap, I feel so much better. But I also think you're right in that emotional, looking at the punishment for not following Jesus as hell, that can be very emotionally disturbing to a lot of people. And I think it might be a very good reason, an emotional reason to leave the faith, that also has to deal with the justice of God as a rational concept, but then it moves over into your emotions. So so there you go. I don't want a Messiah. It's just another man claiming godly authority, and I'm not converting. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Your reason still saying excuses are annoying and preachers are preachy. Okay. Personally, I don't think that leaving the church due to church is the flex of me. And that's the other point I think I wanted to make today, Martin. So what if there was emotional reasons? I think this is kind of a ploy by apologists to make the emotional decisions invalid. Like, if you're in an abusive relationship and you walk away from the relationship because of the emotional abuse, that's a legit reason to walk away. Okay, there's a rational tinge to that, but it's a very legitimate reason to walk away from a relationship or walk away from anything. And I agree with you. I don't think it's the flex they think it is. They think like, oh, you just left for emotional reasons. Yeah, and like I could counter like, why is that a bad thing? Like, are my emotions not important? Like, are they somehow irrelevant? Um, it's part of my being a human being. If that part is being assaulted and attacked, why shouldn't I leave? Like, well, then they'll count, well, you shouldn't have left the faith. Jesus isn't like that. Well, no, these people are justifying their stuff using Jesus. So, yeah. Yeah, that's another good emotional thing. Like the idea of somebody's always watching you. And that can lead to a lot of paranoia. And it is a mental health issue. I remember this was a lot of part of my life, especially when I was a younger Christian. Like, God's always watching me, I do this and God saw, so yeah, it is definitely an emotional issue if you think people are watching you all the time. Thanks, Josh. Also, we have both horns of the Viking helmet, the unhistoric Viking hat paid for. So there you go. And it's still winning too. And if God doesn't want you, then it's Sting. Too many religious are abusive. That says something about them. Yes, it does. Wasn't the Messiah supposed to be a kick-ass warrior king? Yes. Like, if Evan brings up a good point in the fact that I don't think the scriptures really support the idea of Jesus being the Messiah, mostly because the messianic interpretations at the time of Christ supposedly existing is a warrior king, not a he's not a he's not the suffering servant type. It takes post hoc rationalization by Christians to get that from the scripture, but I think Evan's very correct. Like, I don't think the Jews were interpreting it that way at all. They were looking for a deliverer, a warrior king. And they kind of got that with Herod. At least some of them felt so, because he cooperated with the Romans instead of fighting them. So, yeah, so there's that. But yeah, I don't think what they were looking for in a Messiah fit Jesus at all. And so the Christians later in kind of post hoc rationalize, like, once again, go to Matthew and read it sometime, and you'll see how Matthew's absolutely stretching prophecy and everything else to get where he wants. Thanks, Martin. Big Yahweh is watching you. All right. I don't know if any of us are comfortable with that. Well, I think it was Earl. Yeah, Earl was the one who wrote in one of our stories that we wrote about Fangs that Yahweh has this terrible desire to watch you when you're doing intimate things, whether you're going pee or making love. He's always there watching in the corner. Number 3, it also made me feel weird how little Christians knew about their own faith. Every house with Bibles will feel wanting to read it. Yeah. Can we have a feeling about other people's ignorance about things? I think we can, and I think it's a legit reason to move away from faith. Like, if you're saying that you're following a certain faith, right, but you don't know anything about it, that kind of has that icky, hypocritical feel to it that might repulse a lot of people away from the faith. So, yeah, washers are not good anyway. Yes. Oh. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, wait, got another one. Josh added again. The crest of the unhistorical Viking helmet. Okay, that's 4. Only one left to go. Let's see. Even their best prophecy only kind of sort of works if you insert pierced where it doesn't actually belong. Yeah, I've heard like the Septuagint does a lot of really nasty things to the Old Testament as far as interpretation, and we're now seeing that how bad that was. So it's like, yeah. But Evan, I think you have a valid point about the Messiah. Jesus doesn't fit the Jewish idea of a Messiah and never has. So, can't we get God Netflix so they can watch something? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. The Messiah like Trump. Even if Mary was a relative of David's line, it would have been through Joseph that Jesus would have been inherited the lineage. Correct. Melchizedek appears in many religions, just saying. Yes, exactly. Peeping Yahweh, hands on the blanket where we can see them. Yeah. Yeah, but like it's one of those things where I can see where people would be very uncomfortable with the idea of somebody watching everything they do. But I get it also. Like, you'll hear apologists talk about, well, if we didn't have somebody watching us all the time, we'd do whatever we want. And it's like, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Joseph not being the Bible disqualified Jesus. Yes, because he would have had to be Jewish. So yeah, that would have been that would have been very interesting, because like it's why like Matthew and Luke they're the ones that have the genealogies, right? Because somebody was attacking the idea of Jesus being the Messiah because they didn't have the right lineage. And so you have Matthew writing through the line of Joseph. You have Luke possibly writing through the line of Mary, though it doesn't. Neither one of these actually say these things. And the Matthew genealogy like follows a pattern of 14, 14, 14 and leaves people out. So it's kind of weird. Hey, it looks like we have a hat. Hey, look at that. Evan, get thee behind me. Yes, boy, and he will do. Okay. All right. And who won? Unleash the helmet. Okay. All right. Hold on. It is the Viking helmet. All right. I haven't worn this thing in a while. There we go. Unhistorical Viking hat unleashed. So there you go. And thank you, everybody. I appreciate the support. I really do. So, but yes, for the Fluffle and unleash the helmet. Okay, there we go. Oh, whoops. There we go. I'm trying to get control of my mouse here. Feeling God doesn't have your back, praying for something, waiting, and it doesn't happen. Like it goes back to the relationship question that we talked about earlier, where, you know, in a relationship, you kind of want the person you're in a relationship to do stuff for you. Like, and then they don't do anything. Like they never do anything for you, but you're always doing things for them. Yeah, that seems kind of one-sided, I think, for a lot of people. Yes, he could have solved the lineage issue by making Joseph get pregnant. And that would have been a real miracle. Holy Spirit is asked to watch the morons on the... Hey, that's creepy. Yes. It was just how Jewish laws worked at the time. Yeah, pretty much. Hail, leader. There we go. Ornead. I've got a couple new things coming. So there's some new hats in the works. The generosity of the Fluffle is translated into more hats. I'm going to eventually have an apartment full of hats. I got to get to a point where nobody knows. If I bring in an old hat, everybody will think it's new. But yes. So there you go. Hey, here's the thing, Jackie. It's funny when you consider that we have Mormonians. Like you guys have that as an emoji, right? The Mormonians. Here, let me find them. Yeah. Once again, I killed Earl with her brilliant artwork. Here, let's open up this one. See? We have the Mormonians. There. It's a brilliant Freudian slip that's actually very funny. So there you go. Oh my goodness. It's because spirit is a feminine word in Judaism. I think it's closer to the truth. Flooded with hats. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, there you go. See? Oh my goodness. But yes, we have Mormonians. We do have Mormonians. So there you go. Pretty good movie, yes. But they have gender before it's not a male or female beings, yes. Was there a ridiculous roundabout way in Deuteronomy in which the brother of the deceased you're talking about the brother of the deceased raises up seed to his brother? Yeah, that's the yeah, if the oldest brother dies without leaving a child or a male heir, then the second oldest brother can go into his wife and have sex with her and raise up a child. Yes, that is a legal thing in the law. And then that woman also becomes his wife, even if he already has another one. So it's a thing. The scene, like this is the sin of Onan that they always talk about. But yeah, like they, but yeah, like Onan goes into his brother's wife, and the way it's stated is he boinked her, but he did coitus interruptus, and then God killed him for that because he didn't obey God. Like that's God's rules. So the Mormons are always interesting to talk about in the context of that. So more bots. Well, we have Mormonians here. Earl did a whole thing back when she was first getting into it. This is a cleaned up version of some of the original stuff she did, but she's done, some of my favorite images about the Mormons. Here, hold on. Yeah, this is a piece that she did a long time ago, but she's cleaned up since. There you go. This is still one of my favorite pictures. Because the male Mormonian is so happy and his three wives are not, and all the babies crying. I think you saw that in the intermission as well. She's done so much work. So there you go. So there you go. Yeah, I think he did a 4-man thing. But yes, I've made fun of the Mormons many, many times. It's not. There's nothing new here. This has been one of my favorite pictures forever, ever since Earl did it. But there you go. So now you have all the Mormonian jokes, but we have Mormonians here. So kind of like minions, but onions instead. But yes. Let's see. Yes, the holy undies thing too. That's why uh, Earl's setting up some stuff to buy, and she automatically included underwear too for some of her art. So yeah, you keep listening, keep listening. Let's see. Isn't there a whole spit in the shoe or something with a shoe ritual to get out of that exact BS? Um, yes. Isn't that's the story of Ruth, isn't it? Because yeah, like it's the drop, giving the shoe, taking your shoe off and giving it to the other person that because there's a closer kinsman. Like Ruth had the problem of there was a closer kinsman than the guy she was going after, Boaz, and so they had to meet in front of the council. And there was something about taking off the shoe in that story and giving it to Boaz so Boaz could marry Ruth instead, because there was another kinsman that was actually more obligated to do what Boaz was doing. And there's a shoe involved in that, as I recall. I don't know if it's spitting in the shoe, but it's been a while. Been a while. Hey, Hurricane. Yes. So yes, the onions are Mormons. Yes. What? Yeah. Whenever you see onions on my channel, it's the Mormonians. Like it's the Mormons. Yes, your Bible's an animal farm. uh, yeah, I'm not very solid on the part of this spitting part of the ritual. I do believe that, like, I mean, here, let me, let's see, I think it's Ruth 4. Uh, or is it Ruth 3? Yes, let's see. Boaz took 10 of the elders of the town and said, sit here. And they did so. Said to the guardian Renome, who's come back from Boaz, the selling price of the piece of bronze. I thought I should bring this matter to your attention since I buy it in the presence of those seated here in the presence of the elders. If you will redeem it. So, I will redeem it, he said. Then Boaz said, on that day you buy land from Naomi, you also acquire Ruth the Moabite, because Ruth apparently is attached to the property. Okay, because she's part of the property, furniture apparently, if you get the sci-fi reference. Guardian Redeemer said, then I cannot redeem it because I might endanger my own seat. You redeem it yourself. I cannot do it. Yes. Now, in early times in Israel, the redemption transferred property to become file. One party took off the sandal and gave it to the other. This was the method of legalizing transactions in Israel. And so the guardian just said to Boaz, buy it yourself, and he removed his sandal. There you go. That's what that's about. So, but yes, it's a Ruth 4. Ancient Magnus Bride. So there you go. The man she was going after, perfect dad. Most missed that part. Yes, yes, toss some sandals. But yes, that was the sandal thing is a custom. Like the guardian redeemer, which is not named in the story of Ruth, Boaz is, takes off his sandal and gives it to Boaz. That's symbolic of the transfer. And the reason it was interesting is because Ruth, the Moabitess, is attached to the property that he's supposed to redeem, because it's all about the property. And so Ruth is a part of that property, if you didn't catch that part. Okay, so the woman used to be attached to the man is attached to that property. So there you go. But yes. But yes, like all the veggies, Jackie, have different things. Like we have, the JWs are the turnips because you can't get blood from a turnip. Um, we have the tomato pope. The Catholics are represented by tomatoes, because of the marinara sauce and the bread being the blood of Jesus Christ. So yes, yeah, the tomato pope. Yeah, it's a holy mortgage basically. Like according to Jewish law and custom, if I'm reading it right, and I'm not an expert, by the way, in the Old Testament anyway, straight to form, I know enough about it as literature to talk about it as literature. But when you, the biggest thing that women should really be upset about the Old Testament is you are literally attached to the property. Like it means like if the oldest sibling dies, the whole thing about the brother raising up seed isn't just, it's about raising up an inheritance to a piece of property, and the woman attached to that property thanks to the marriage is the one you have to raise that up through. So yes, don't ask what's in the marinara sauce. Yes, just don't. And so like I made an analogy there to Soylent Green, because in Soylent Green the main character walks into several apartments, looks at the girl there, and asks if they're furniture. Okay, and that's what that's about, is that they are attached to that piece of property as part of the property as furniture. And yeah, where did they get that idea? The Bible. So it's there. Yeah, these ancient customs are hilarious, but yes, yes. But that's, it's kind of related to the Mormonians. But I love the Mormonians. They're hilarious. That was like one of the earliest religions that we did with them. So Silent Mariners people. Oh yeah, I mean some of you, honestly. So we got like I can switch out to Fangs and the Tomato Pope. Okay, so there you go. There you go. See, we got that too. Um, Holy cow. But yes. And where's the other one? Fangs, Tomato Pope. Oh, yep, there it is. JW. We did the JWs, and there you go, the turnips. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she couldn't claim her property, but the man could. Yes, that was the whole point of the Old Testament law. Is like the wife couldn't claim the property, but the heir could. And if you didn't have an heir, then the man had a brother, then the brother could raise up an heir to claim the property, which included the woman. So it's like, so cannibalism jokes. It goes deeper, but I don't understand it yet. Yes, it does. But yes, like, but these are like I think the three main religions that Earl has done Fangs art for. So, and I always like to promote Earl and her art because this is like some of the final forms of her artwork, and I've always loved the More Money on the One. It's just hilarious. so, so ending in names and females, but also the names of places. Yes, yeah. Like if you start reading the Old Testament, yeah, the way the law is set up is so inherently male dominated. Like the women in it are just attached to whatever inheritance is left to the next male heir in line. So it's like if your father dies and your mom's still alive, you kind of inherit your mother as property. Like there's no sexual relationship expected there, but you have to take care of her. In that sense, she's part of the property. But it's like, there's just this whole aspect of the Old Testament law. So, oh, the wheat. Let's see. Yeah, that's the corner. What is it? The cornifixion, the crucifixion of the wheat. You know, you have to have the crucifixion of the wheat in order to make the Italian bread that's screaming. So I don't know. I've always considered it kind of a the proto bread. Also Jesus, maybe it's Jesus, but you got the Catholic boat. So a story in Exodus about two women were like frack all male members of our family group. So now we can came our yes, there is a oh god, there is an Old Testament thing that allows women to inherit if there is absolutely no male heir. And that is the only time that women can inherit the property. But the moment there is a male heir, like if those women have sons, then immediately it falls to them as soon as they die. But there is a way to keep the inheritance in the family name through women, but I can't remember the story exactly or where it's found. I think it is in Exodus though. I don't know if it'd be in Exodus. It might be in Deuteronomy because Deuteronomy is getting closer to the actual occupation of the land in the story. So yeah, it's the daughters of Manasseh. That's who it is. Yeah, it's the idea that these two daughters were able to claim their father's property because there were no male heirs, and that was all to keep it in the line of the family. So yeah, it's just, but yeah, it's one of those things where you have a situation where they had no male heirs that were possible. This piece of property is the inheritance divvied up to this family. And so it was their way of keeping it in the family name. But I think the moment the two daughters had a male heir, it passed to them upon their death. But it was just a way of keeping the lineage clear. So to be fair, it's probably spelled in Hebrew. I think I was doing the families who got killed over some absolute BS said during. Yeah, it may have been Exodus. Yes, but there was like this the whole issue of the family inheritance going to the wrong person or not being able to go because there was no male heir at all. But yeah, like if you're a woman in biblical times, like congratulations. I don't understand. I don't understand how people follow this religion when you really consider all the negative knocks to everybody that has. It's not good. But yes, the wheat has always. I want to say it's Jesus or some weirdo that's doing the crucifixion thing to rate the wheat. It's wheat is proto bread, so she unbrew. Do you remember also track with that with vague recollection? But I'm definitely super vague, squishy on the details. Yeah, it's been a while. Like I used to know where all this stuff was, Evan, but I don't read the Bible religiously like I did when I was in it. So, or as a pastor, I always had to read it to come up with messages. So I just don't read it. It's just not a very interesting book to me anymore. I like it in some ways, but it's just not interesting to me at times. The old Scotland, a woman could learn the bagpipes unless there were no sons. Couldn't learn the bagpipes unless there were no. But if she had a son, she had to give him her pipes. Really? Apparently, it's a bad line. Yes, yes, it is. Uh, yes, Wordles would not get into that crap. Yes, yes. Crucifixion, yes. Like it's I think the idea behind the wheat is like the wheat is proto bread, because Jesus said he's the bread of life, and everybody when they talk about the crucifixion, they talk about the blood of Jesus and everything. And I think what Earl was going for was, hey, what about the bread? Where does that come from? And it's a proto wheat thing that becomes the bread, and you know, of course, Fangs is always dealing with something from Yahweh, so and he's got to deal with it. So, but yeah, I've always loved this. Yes, yes, they're weirdly obsessed with blood, which is another good emotional reason. Like you don't have to be obsessed with blood and broken flesh and all that stuff anymore. You can get out of that. Oh, yes. Oh, no wonder I didn't get pipes. But yeah, that's a really interesting tradition, Vixen. I wonder what that was about. Like you could only give the bagpipes to a male heir. That's weird, unless there wasn't any. Interesting. That just seems kind of strange to me. Seems kind of strange. But yeah. Well, there. Let's see. I want to give the JWs their due too. So here we go. This one was a little bit easier because of the blood. You can't get blood from a tournament kind of thing, and then all the missed prophecies and predictions that the JWs have had over the years. So yeah, misogyny is a bitch. Yes. Yeah, you don't have to deal with the ritualistic, blood, cannibalistic ritual on Sunday anymore. That's a good emotional reason to leave the faith. It really is. You don't have to deal with all that weird, creepy crap. Like when you really think about it, like Jesus is always watching you. Yeah, like, okay, so weapons of warfare. So the men are going off to war. So, well, I mean, I can see why the bagpipes are considered weapons of warfare. Not everybody likes them. I don't mind them. One of my favorite bagpipe groups is it escapes me. Tartanic. Tartanic. They play at Renaissance festivals, and they were at Texas a couple of times, and they're a bagpipe and drum kind of quartet, and they're really really good too. But I can understand why they would be considered a weapon of war to some. Psychological warfare. So the Bible has nothing good to say of Manasseh. Yeah, it doesn't really know. Manasseh's always kind of the butt of a lot of jokes. I kind of like them, but a lot of folks don't viscerally hate them. I think the life is in the blood means no spirituality. Yeah, but the thing about the JWs is they take so many things literally, and the turnip was an obvious vegetable choice for them, just like the tomato was for the Catholics. So because of the tomato pope. Scottish and study the pipes for 7 years. Really? Now, see, I don't mind the pipes. Like I said, Tartanic is one of my favorite groups to listen for bagpipes and drums. They're very, very good. But I listen to them every once in a while. Just fond memories of the Texas Renaissance Festival when I went there a few times. So, and they were always there, and I was always stop and listen to them. So, yeah, the pipes are always. I know they're controversial because some people don't like them. Yeah, see you later, Martin. Yeah, I'm about to sign off in another 5 minutes anyway, so because I got to get ready for work. But thank you very much before you leave. Yeah, thanks, Martin. By the way, thanks. Yahweh is watching us. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but thanks. Yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. That's kind of my. People have asked me if I've had a problem with that. I'm like, I have fans around the world, so there we go. On BB shows, the females couldn't inherit it. They had to get married to keep their father's property. Yeah, and you can kind of see the biblical influence on a lot of laws like that. Like the inheritance laws, when people say the Bible influenced law, yes, and not in a good way. This is one of them. So, but yeah, like it's I think for women, okay, I think a good emotional reason to leave the faith is the bullshit feeling you're getting from the constant misogyny of Abrahamic religions. I think that's a legit emotional reason to walk away from them. So, like, nope, no thanks. Or maybe C.S. Chris from Westchester County. Maybe. Scottish football soccer fans drinking so much beer in Boston, Scotland, known for Scotch, right? Oh yeah, well the Scots also everybody has beer. Dragon Rider, everybody has beer. The Germans are probably more famous for it, and Americans. Like Americans have some famous beer brands that are around the world now, but the Germans and their beer and Americans and their beer, but everybody. I don't know. Egyptians had beer back in the day. Like beer is like a universal alcohol. Like it's everywhere. If you can grow wheat, you got beer. Like so, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have some famous piss water brands, yes. But the thing about it is, like, I live in Michigan. There's a ton of craft breweries here. So, and some of them are more well known than others. But there's one even right downtown here, where in the town I live. He has a brewery and he serves his brew at a bar. So it's kind of there. So we're infamous for beer. Yeah, Belgians have good beer too. Yeah, they have good beer too. But yeah, like beer is kind of like one of those universal alcohols. Like it's everybody does beer. I mean, everybody does beer. Like there's if you can grow wheat and hops, and those two crops, there's a lot of different variants now, so you can pretty much grow wheat and hops pretty much anywhere. So it doesn't take much. At a Scottish themed high school, the bagpipes led the parades. Yep, we have that around here too. There's a couple of schools that their mascot is the Scots. My son, when he was playing football, played for Alma College. That also is the Scots, and they had bagpipes. So actually, had some pretty good players too. But yeah, the pipes, the pipes. Some people love them, some people hate them. Kind of like American beer. Anybody else drink far less after leaving Christianity? Yes. Yes, I could say that that's probably true of me. I don't drink anymore. Not that much. I will social drink if alcohol's available at a social occasion, but that's because I'm autistic and I need something to deal with humans. Um, yes, but yes, I drink. I drink far less now that I'm out of Christianity. Like my last few years in the ministry, when I was an atheist and also in the pulpit, I drank a lot. Like I drank a lot, and I tried all kinds of different stuff. But once I got out, the drinking kind of just disappeared and leveled off, and I drink far less, if at all, mostly not at all. So, but yes, I actually I overcame my possible alcoholism by leaving Christianity. Yeah, okay, all right. So hops are a later addition, but you can get beer out of wheat, pretty much. So, who likes American beer? Who hates themselves that much? Yeah, I mean, like, oh, hops were first used in the 8th century. Okay, so we have some beer brands then, Cranky, that did not have hops in them. Like Egyptian beer did not have hops. I don't know what they had in it, but they didn't have hops. So I'm trying to remember what the purpose of hops in beer is anyway. I'm not sure who did that and why they did that. I guess I'd have to look that up. Why do you use hops in beer? So who hates themselves that much? Apparently, Americans. Americans hate themselves. Make you happy. It's a preservative. That's kind of what I thought. Like now you can have beer last longer and it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if it helps the taste. I just know that since craft brewing was made more and more accessible, that in my neck of the woods, more people are growing hops than ever before. Um, we have more vineyards too in Western Michigan too. A whole bunch of vineyards have popped up to do wheat, to do wine. So it's been kind of one of those weird things that we do. Brooklyn Brewery was pretty decent the last time I had it. Most of the name brands, yeah. Like a lot of people like, don't like beer at all. Yeah, I don't like most of it anymore. Just too. Okay, so it was made of barley and wheat. Okay, gotcha. Hops for when you have beer on ships. Yes. Okay, so it's like a preservative thing. Okay, I can see that then. That makes perfect sense. Hops is also a great vegetable for any people who follow fangsology for obvious reasons. So, remember the guy who used to run a grocery store in Lesquetti, sheep infested temperate rainforest island, BC, used to grow hops outside said store. Beer was safer than water. Yeah. English Indian ales use a shit ton of hops for beer they ship to the troops in India. Yeah, because they're preserving it. Okay. All right. See, educational. The Rabid Atheist educational. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to have to take off and leave. Tomorrow, we will be looking at some of our favorite apologists and preachers and what they had to say about Pride Month so far this month. And they said a lot of this early in the month, but I thought we should take a look at them and see what BS they're up to now with Pride Month. Okay, Lake Ski Tea. Pronunciation is not my strong suit, as most of you know. Drinking a hopsy beer is like eating grass. Yes, it is. If I remember wearing the holy bunny hat, like anything with hops in it is also automatically holy. So, for obvious reasons, the name, if nothing else. So there you go. I just want to give a shout out real quick to Josh, to Martin, to Josh again, to Evan, to Josh, and Josh. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Evan. Thanks, Martin. Appreciate all of you. But yeah, I do have to hop myself. But thanks to everybody for stopping by. Appreciate it. May Fangs nibble on all of your hearts. May he purify all of your vegetables from religious corruption with his pointy teeth. May he draw you closer with said pointy teeth. If you need a warm fuzzy from your religion, the best warm fuzzy you can ever get in life is to look into the face of God-lit fangs and know the warm fuzzies are coming. If you need a religious ritual, we have that too. Just circumcise a carrot, leave it on top of your stash, or anything else that you find valuable. Like all religious rituals, results vary. Fangs may take the carrot, you may take the stash, or you may take both, but it's worth a try. Also, remember that Judge Fangs now has legal powers, so check your local laws as to far as whether your stash is legal or not in the first place. Because if it's illegal, Fangs may take it. And also, just a reminder to watch out for the precept opossums. They're out there, so so there you go. You like that one? Results may vary. So, but thanks everybody for stopping by. I appreciate all of you. As always, folks, live your best life. You only get one go around and then it's over. So you want to take all your time, money, and opportunities and give them to yourself, the people you love and care for, and to make this a better world. You'll be happier if you do. And don't waste them on the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end. I speak from experience. And as always, folks, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you all tomorrow on another live stream at 7. I'll see you then, where we're going to be reacting to some apologists and preachers on Pride Month. So thanks for stopping by, guys, and I'll see you then. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end to find out how you can support the channel better. Of course, there's always the normal notions of just hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit your notification bell, and share the video with your friends and family that you think would be interested. That's always very appreciated. If you want to support the channel in a more tangible way, there's several options. You can super chat or super thanks in the comments or during a stream. Those are always very welcome. But you also can become a member of the channel. Members have certain perks like getting the videos early, things like that. They also have some good custom emojis during chat. So all of these things are good benefits to members, but they also support this channel and its work to continue to normalize atheism and deconversion, for which I'm very appreciative. It keeps me going, and it keeps me as a content creator being able to do more and more as a content creator. So if you choose those methods of support, thank you very much. And I appreciate you once again for staying to the end and listening to other ways that you can support the channel. Appreciate it. Thanks, and I'll catch you next time.